Korea's New Year's destinations overflowing with visitors awaiting the new year. We welcome 2014 with these Korean scenes. Record highs in national exports and trade surplus in 2013. We bring you even higher expectations for 2014. And capturing that special homemade cooking element, Soundbite, a Korean term that literally means the taste of the hand. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Thursday, January 2nd. I'm Luke Clary. Famous New Year's spots crowded with revelers throughout Korea, the country's east coast, teeming with holidaymakers staking out the first sunrise of the year. We welcome 2014 with scenes of the new year.
The bell resonates, marking the beginning of 2014 in downtown Seoul. Families, lovers, and friends ring in the new year, wishing for the best.
저희 와이프하고 저희 연준이 1년 내내 또 건강했으면 좋겠고요. 이제 태어난 둘째도 있는데 건강하게 태어났으면 좋겠고요.
The red sun rises from behind the clouds. Thousands of people flocked to the East Coast beaches to see the first sun of the new year.
이제 올해는 이제 가정이 생겼으니까 화목하게 가정이 이루어졌으면 좋겠고.
Mount Nam in Seoul, Ganjeol Cape in Ulsan, and Seongsan Ilchul Peak in Jeju Island, all popular New Year spots across the nation, were packed with visitors. As their New Year wishes, they pleaded for health and happiness for their families and for social prosperity. People around the nation were filled with hope for the new year.
South Korean troops stationed around the globe offering assistance have delivered their New Year's greetings to the Korean public. Take a look.
Tacloban in the Philippines bore the brunt of the deadly typhoon Haiyan. More than 4 million people were displaced. South Korea sent its military troops to lend a helping hand to the devastated nation. The name of the South Korean unit dispatched there is Arao, meaning hope. The unit is building schools, restoring roads, and supplying water to the locals.
필리핀 국민들에게 사랑과 희망을 심어주고 돌아가겠습니다. 아라오 부대 화이팅!
The South Korean unit Hanbit, which is stationed in South Sudan, is tasked with rebuilding the war-ravaged region. The troops risk their lives to provide local residents with medical assistance and drinking water.
남수단에 하루빨리 평화와 사랑이 깃들였으면 좋겠고 우리 한빛 부대가 역할을 다해서 남수단의 희망이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
The Cheonghae unit, which has successfully escorted some 1,800 ships to protect them from pirates, and the Dongmyeong unit, which is stationed in Lebanon, also sent their New Year's messages. The some 2,000 South Korean troops stationed all around the world will continue their missions in 2014.
We also welcome the new year with the national railway service that is getting back to normal. Korail union members have returned to work after a record-long strike.
Korea Railroad Corporation President Hyeon-hui and staff members were out on a train station serving bread and tea to passengers on New Year's Day. They bow and greet people with a sorrowful heart over the rail strike that caused the public inconvenience and vowed to work harder. Korail says the metropolitan subway system will be fully operational by the 6th, while the KTX trains and other regular and cargo rail services will resume from the 14th. This is to ensure smooth traffic for the upcoming Lunar New Year holiday. Tourist trains that were once suspended will also pick up again. Train tours of the central inlands, those between Busan and Yeosu in the south, and a wine and cinema-themed packaged one will all be resumed on the 4th. Another southern maritime train tour between western Daejeon and Songjeong in Gwangju City will be launched on the 11th. Another one for seeing the winter snowy landscapes will also start on the 14th. Korail says the train tours that didn't operate during the union strike will be fully refundable within a year of the tour dates.
National exports and the trade surplus posted record highs in 2013. Amid the global economic recovery, exports are forecast to rise even further this year, nearing $600 billion.
Korea's exports and trade surplus both recorded an all-time high last year. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy says last year exports grew 2.2% to $559.7 billion, while imports were down 0.8% to $515.5 billion, resulting in a trade surplus of $44.2 billion. Exports topped its previous record of $555.2 billion in 2011, while the trade surplus also surpassed a record $41.2 billion posted in 2010. Korea thus achieved a triple crown feat of reaching an all-time high in terms of exports and trade surplus, as well as surpassing a trade volume of over $1 trillion. Bullish exports are expected to continue this year. Shipments are forecast to grow 6.4% to $595.5 billion. With domestic consumption reviving, imports are also expected to rise 9% to $562 billion this year. The resulting trade surplus is predicted to be $10 billion less than last year at $33.5 billion. The ministry says the recovering economies in the U.S. and Europe, China's continued growth, and improved competitiveness of Korean staple products will all help expand the nation's exports. Exports of ships, mobile phones, and automobiles in particular are expected to increase by over 4%.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un issued his own New Year's message this year. As with anything relating to North Korea, analyzing Kim's message requires a healthy serving of caution.
In his New Year's address, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un talked about ending slander between the two Koreas and improving cross-border ties 3 times. It was not mentioned even once in his message last year.
북남 사이 관계 개선을 위한 분위기를 마련해야 합니다. 백해무익한 비방 중상을 끝낼 때가 되었으며 화해와 단합에 저해를 주는 일을 더 이상 해서는 안 될 것입니다.
The remarks may be a sign that North Korea will strengthen conciliatory gestures toward the South. But the Seoul government says it will wait to see if the North shows real change. This is because the North Korean leader also blasted the South Korean president's remarks on inter-Korean relations during her summit meetings, and he also urged the South to stop condemning North Korean followers. He also justified the execution of his uncle, Chang Song-taek, referring to him as factional filth. He also stressed Seoul leadership and purity of party hierarchy, which implies he will bolster control and his grip of power to maintain the regime. It's also noteworthy that there was no reference to nuclear-related talks. As for the economy, Kim promised efforts to develop the agricultural industry. After issuing the message, the young leader visited the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun in Pyongyang to pay respect to the former leaders of North Korea. Large-scale fireworks and performances also took place across the capital Pyongyang on New Year's Day. Following the purge of Chang Song-taek, the reclusive country appears to be trying to lift up the social mood with a hopeful message.
Vitamin D is an important part of your diet. Deficiency of vitamin D is bad for your bones, and a recent study suggests it can even raise your risk of developing anemia.
In the winter, the sun rises after 7 a.m. and sets around 5 p.m. The amount of energy from the sun reaching the earth during the winter is only half as strong as it is during the summer. Lacking exposure to the sun usually results in a vitamin D deficiency. The condition is diagnosed when the amount of vitamin D in the body is less than 30 nanograms. A vitamin D deficiency can cause anemia. One of its symptoms is pale blood vessels inside the eyelids. A survey conducted by a university hospital on some 3,200 adult women shows that a lack of vitamin D in the body raises the risk of anemia by 1.8 times.
비타민 D의 부족은 간에서 분비하는 헵시딘의 양을 많아지게 하는데 이 헵시딘은 철분의 흡수를 억제하여 빈혈을 유발하는 것으로 알려져 있습니다.
In other words, anemia can be prevented by getting a sufficient intake of vitamin D. The surest way to replenish the body with the vitamin is to get enough outdoor exposure to the sun. Sunlight hitting the body indoors cannot create vitamin D because the windows block the sun's ultraviolet B rays. Once vitamin D is formed in the body, it lasts for about 2 weeks. Experts recommend exposing both arms and the head to sunlight on clear days twice a week for about half an hour at a time.
There's a Korean term for that hard-to-define special element in a delicious meal. It's sonmat, and it literally means taste of the hand. It's tough passing it down in a written record, but that doesn't deter this group trying to do just that.
An old closed-down school in Jecheon has transformed into a cooking class. While the elders are sampling the dishes at one corner, the young chefs are busy cooking in the nearby kitchen. The young people prepare the dishes taught by the elder village residents. A middle-aged woman who taught them her secret cooking know-how, called sonmat, is happy to see them at work. It's been 3 years since the younger folks began flocking to this village. They are members of the Arts and Village Network, a group that aims to solve the problems of the villages through art. They have collected the villagers' recipes and cooking tips for a year and compiled them into a book.
가장 먼저 나누게 되는 게 음식이었어요. 그래서 음식에 관한 이야기들을 한번 모으고자 하던 와중에 음식을 배우고 나누고 하면서
These young people are the ones who are vitalizing the whole village by recording the daily lives and personal stories of the residents in a bulletin through their paintings, pictures, and sculptures.
In today's entertainment news, a star couple has been revealed. Meanwhile, the Korean movie The Suspect is dominating the box office.
Lee Seung-gi and Yoona, Korea's two hottest celebrities, are now officially a couple. Yoona's agency admitted that the two young stars are dating, saying that they are just starting to get to know each other. Lee Seung-gi's management agency also acknowledged that they have just started seeing each other and asked their fans for their support and blessings. Yoona is currently starring in a KBS television show titled Prime Minister and I.
나는 지금 쫓기고 있다.
Action-packed film The Suspect, starring Gong Yoo, has drawn more than 2 million moviegoers since it was released just 8 days ago. The film reached the box office milestone 3 days earlier than the 2010 hit Man from Nowhere, which sold 6.28 million tickets. The Suspect is also expected to do well overseas since it has sold its rights to be released in 7 regions, including North America and Japan. The impressive ticket sales of the 2 latest Korean releases, The Attorney and The Suspect, have snagged 59% of the total ticket revenue. Male duo Dongbang Shingi has released the music video for their 7th album's title track, Something. The swing jazz-style album Tense will be available on January 6th.
The daily grind results in many people experiencing aches and pains. Maybe you could do with a stress-relieving soak in a hot spring to start the new year. Here are 2 in Korea with historic significance.
Our first destination is Chungju, North Chungcheong Province, the only hot spring in Korea to feature all 3 varieties, alkaline, bicarbonate, and sulfur. Among the springs is a place rich with historical significance. This is Suwonbo Spa, which is famous for its naturally occurring hot spring. The cold winter air makes your head feel fresh while the hot water relaxes your body. The water contains a wide variety of minerals and is said to be good for skincare.
왕들이 온 왕의 온천이래요, 여기가. 왕비가 된 거죠, 지금. 왕의 온천에 왔으니.
The Suwonbo Hot Spring, which is the oldest in Chungju, is where King Taejo Lee Seong-gae of the Joseon dynasty sought to treat his skin ailments. Today, it's called the King Spa. The local government manages the water, ensuring quality. The next spa is quite special. The people getting in are in for a surprise.
뜨거운 줄 알고 들어왔는데 너무 차워. 떨려.
We check the temperature. 28.5 degrees Celsius. That's lower than human body temperature.
저희 온천은 탄산 온천인데요. 탕에 들어가면 처음에는 차갑게 느껴지지만 10분에서 15분 정도 있으면 기포로 인해 몸이 따뜻해집니다.
The carbonated gas is absorbed by the skin, stimulating capillaries and facilitating circulation.
처음 들어올 때는 차갑는데 좀 있으면은 오래 있어도 안 차가워요.
After warming their bodies at the hot springs, people come here. Another tourist attraction of Chungju is pheasant meat. The Suwonbo area has long been the natural habitat of these wild birds. Cuisine featuring pheasant has become a specialty in Chungju. This is raw sliced pheasant meat. The most popular pheasant dish is the hot pot. Thin slices of pheasant are cooked in broth.
꿩이 여자 피부한테 좋다고 하더라고요. 오늘 먹으니까 예뻐질 것 같아요.
The oldest hot spring in Korea is in Busan. A hot spring free for everyone is just a 5-minute walk from the station. The Dongnae Hot Spring in Busan contains some salt. It is said to be highly effective for treating neuralgia and rheumatism.
혈액순환도 잘 되는 것 같고 잠도 잘 오고 뭔가 몸이 편해.
If you dip your feet in this hot water, it won't be long before beads of sweat start forming on your brow. Feel your fatigue melt away. After the foot bath, where are these guests headed?
온천 즐기러 가야지요.
This is where the guests come to enjoy the hot spring in full swing. It's huge with a variety of facilities and can accommodate up to 3,000 people. There is a wide variety of hot springs, each with a different effect. Today is the fragrant wild raspberry bath, which is said to be good for skin care. For best results, don't soak in the water for more than 20 minutes. Getting out for a break once in a while leaves no time for boredom.
다른 온천하고 다르게 여러 탕들이 있어서 여기도 탕도 가보고 저기 탕도 가보고 이런 점들이 참 좋은 것 같습니다.
For the chills, how about a winter remedy to boost your health? Let the troubles of last year melt away in a hot spring.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. We'll be back at the same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great day.